Good morning and welcome to the other episode, the next episode, uh, the next episode. It's been quite a while since I've done this, a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so at least. Um, I thought you deserved an update as to what's going on. Start with the regular normal updates. As you can see, I have changed the location of my office. I have now moved to our basement, which I am turning into a studio for myself for recording, as well as to have other people record here as well, and to use it as my office. So that's been fun. It's taken a couple of weeks for me to settle in. Still haven't settled in completely. Got some of the stuff here, but I need to make this place look prettier and move the rest of my stuff here. As for everything else, um, still trying different things. Everything's going okay. Geez, I just don't know. I know that I need to update, but I don't know what I need to update about. That's an interesting problem to have. So I don't remember where we stopped last time. So I'll just tell you what we've been doing since the last time that I've talked. One of the things that I tried, one of the things that I started around about a month and a half ago was to work with a gentleman who works specifically with type 1 diabetic people to manage their lives from the point of basically being able to do whatever they want to do, excel at everything that they want to do while managing their type 1 diabetes or diabetes in general. Now, I'm the kind of person who believes that a vast majority of people around the world are pre-diabetic. I myself am pre-diabetic. I've been testing as pre-diabetic as far back as I can remember, and so I know that I need to control my insulin levels, control the sugar intake that I have. And since one of the things that I've heard for the longest time is that um, sugar is basically one of the things that fuels cancer cells, I decided to cut sugar out of my diet, and it's been a process. It's it's you have to take certain steps which aren't necessarily it's I want to say it's easier said than done because you don't know all of the things that you need to do. So the first step that I took, which was the most obvious step, was to stop using um, sugar, granulated sugar. So I used to have a couple of spoons of sugar with my tea. That stopped. Sugar in the coffee, that stopped. Fizzy drinks, soft drinks, pop, juice, those type of things all stopped. Cake, snacks, chocolates, that kind of stuff. Cold turkey. One day woke up, said, okay, I'm gonna stop that, and it's been good. I've been doing this for about a month and a half now, I want to say, and it's been good. It was um, difficult to begin with, especially for the first couple of days, but then um, slowly it gets easier. Um, Mindset wise, it's quite tough because one of the things that started to happen to me is that I would be driving by McDonald's and I would crave a cup of Coke, basically. And so yeah, that's difficult to deal with. But then the way I started to look at it one day is that I said, look, there's a Saman killing engine, a Saman killing machine inside me, and then every gram of sugar that I put inside my body is fuel for that Saman killing engine. So, um, you know, what do you want to do? And so that kind of makes things a little bit easier, looking at it that way, thinking about it that way, it makes the decision easier. So, um, stop the sugar completely. But this is the thing. So you think you've stopped the sugar completely by cutting out all of those things, but there's a lot more to it than that. So I'm still dealing with things like. So one of the things that this gentleman told me is anything that's white, technically, is turns to sugar in your body. That includes things like flour, rice, and a lot of my diet has always been based on rice and bread and those type of things. So aside from us, just deciding and getting somebody's help to cut out different types of food that I eat, one of the things that these sessions that I've been doing have done for me is for me to understand why I eat the way I eat, why we eat the way we eat. And it's got a lot to do not just with culture, not just with where you grew up with, but a lot with economics as well. Um, so a lot of the things are habits that we have learned generationally that probably no longer serve us, but because we've been doing it since forever, we don't really think about it. Um, so one of the things I always like to say is step one is awareness, and I am aware of it. I think I am far from um, having 100% control over what I eat, but that's okay because I've been doing this for 40 years the way I've done it, and I don't expect to be able to change it overnight. I just have to take every step that I can, I'm happy with the steps that I'm taking. So that's going well. So that's the sugar front. That was one of the major changes that I've been working on. Trying to get a lot more exercise in. I do this thing where every hour on the hour I get up and I do 10 push-ups. Hopefully, the goal is by the end of every day to be doing about 100 push-ups a day every day. So that's another thing that I'm doing. So positive steps along the way. Positive steps along the way. Treatment wise, I went to see another doctor, an oncologist who specializes in mantle cell lymphoma, and we did a number of tests. We did the biopsy, so we had a piece of the lymph node that's right here under my throat removed. We did biopsy, we did some genetic testing on it, trying to figure out exactly what type of mantle cell lymphoma I have. That was quite interesting. I basically flew to New Jersey for what I thought was going to be a 2-hour consultation. It ended up being 48 hours at a hospital there, doing a whole bunch of different things, from PET scans to, more blood tests in one day than I've had in a couple of years. 19 vials of blood, if I'm not exaggerating, is what they took from me at one point. Got a PET scan done. Did I say that already? That was interesting. Got injected with a radioactive dye, and it was very interesting. Brought out in this huge, heavy tungsten toolbox almost type thing. And then they had the syringe in there, which had this huge, again, another very thick tungsten cylinder covering it. So yeah, it felt very interesting. And then I wasn't allowed to leave the room, the lead-lined room, for about an hour and a half, because they said you can't be walking around the hospital, you would irradiate everybody. So that was also very interesting. I was planning to fly out that same night, and they told me that I wouldn't be able to fly out that night because, and I quote, the technician said, if you were to step into an airport right about now, you would set off every alarm in the place. So yeah, I was totally radioactive for a period of time. That's funny. That was an interesting couple of hours there, sitting, waiting for the PET scan. after that, I came back, and a couple of weeks after all of the tests were done, spoke to the oncologist again, and the decision that we've taken at this point in time is to wait and watch, very similar to what the oncologists here have been telling me. The only difference is that he said that this new oncologist, this specialist in mantle cell lymphoma, said that once we do decide to treat it, we would not do the general 6 months of chemo and then bone marrow transplant, which is the standard treatment. He said that what he recommends is immunotherapy. So that remains to be seen in terms of what that entails. And I'm hoping that that's at least a year or two out, based on what my oncologist here has been telling me and what my oncologist there told me. So we're just going to be checking things every 6 or 7 months for the next couple of years and figure things out. So that's the medical news. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to take every day. I'm just trying to basically enjoy every day, spend every day as much as I can with the kids and Mona, my wife, and do everything I can to beat it internally before we need to look externally for medicine to, or like modern medicine to have an impact. I do believe that I have the ability to control it internally. Now this is getting a little bit weird and crazy, this part of the conversation, but I do believe that we all have that ability internally, inherent inside us, to be able to control what our bodies do. I don't know if we are all capable of taking advantage of it, but I think that it's there in the operating system. We just need to be able to access it. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. I'm trying to find out how to access it. And I know that a lot of people before me have probably done this, but one of the things that I do believe is that everybody's journey is unique and everybody does what they need to do in their own way. And I'm just going to keep doing what I think I should be doing. So yeah, that's it. That's the update. I don't know. Today's date is the 30th of August, 2022. I can't remember when the last time I put out an update was, but yeah, this is me signing off, and catch you on the flip side.